You guys have asked for it, and I've asked for it quite a bit. Let's get into it. Today we're going to be checking out two lenses and putting them against each other. I've recently got myself a new Fujifilm X-T5 and shot it for the last couple months, and it was absolutely amazing, still is absolutely amazing. And there are two lenses that you would kind of look at for mid-range zooms. That is of course the 16 to 55mm f2.8, and then my favourite at the moment, the 17 to 40mm f1.8. Now, the little provisor here is I do actually own the 17 to 40mm f1.8, and it's beautiful. It's great in low light situations and to shoot in general. But the question does beg asking, what is the 16 to 55mm like against it? And we're going to be talking about a lot of my findings over this, and it's going to be predominantly in the street photography kind of area, where we're going to be touching upon all of the bits and pieces of these lenses and putting them against each other. So without further ado, let's get into the lens comparison. So let's talk about reasons why people would actually end up looking at these two lenses. Of course, both lenses are pretty damn good, both offering that sort of mid-range zoom. However, there are some clear differences, and of course, it does come down to focal range, it does come down to low aperture, and it does come down to your personal experience and what you're looking to shoot. Of course, the Sigma 17 to 40 is an f1.8 aperture. This will give you the ability to shoot in much lower light situations, and is overall pretty good, and I actually really enjoy it for having that low aperture. However, if you're looking for a low aperture zoom, then the 1655 is also a great option. There are two variants of this. The one we're testing out today is the Mark II, and the biggest difference between this and the Mark II, the 16 to 55 that is of course the genuine size. And size does come into a big factor when looking at these two lenses. Although yes, the 17 to 40 is a little bit bigger, the 16 to 55 does end up being around about the same size once you zoom in with the lens and compare them to each other. Because the 16 to 55 is smaller and lighter for your general day-to-day shooting. And that's going to be one of the most important things, really, when it comes down to you going out and about, taking some photos, is the ability to be able to take it out. Now, the 17 to 40mm is not too heavy to the point where you are not going to want to take it out. In fact, and like I said at the start, this lens is something that I use quite often. It's a very good lens, and it can do what I need it to really quite well, and also be very versatile. Now, I'm more of a video first, and one of the other things you got to bear in mind when looking at these two lenses is of course the 17 to 40 has an internal mechanism for the zoom. The 16 to 55 does not. So for balancing on the gimbal, it's going to be just a little bit easier for yourself. However, you can still balance on the gimbal with the 16 to 55. We're going to be showing three photos of the lenses in the same situation with the same editing done to them, just to kind of show you the original result. One is going to be wide, one is going to be tight, and then the other one is going to be tight but of the side of Camera Center UK, to show a relative comparison on depth of field, but also, how much you get in the shot. So let's begin. So this shot here is the 16mm end on the 16 to 50. As you can see, there's not really much distortion. I mean, I could have probably composed it a little bit better, but there doesn't seem to be any sort of curvature to the lines, and it is quite an accurate representation of a decent wide angle. Moving on over to the 17 to 40. And this shot is of the 17mm end on that lens, and as you can see, it's not really too much difference between this and the other. The 16mm is only a millimeter difference, and overall I probably composed this one just a little bit better, but as you can see, pretty similar performance, straight lines, pretty great overall. This is a zoomed in shot of the 16mm end and the 17mm end of both lenses. The left is Fuji and the right is Sigma. As you can see, the sharpness is pretty comparable between the both of them. Now we're going to be going over to the corners. Again, this is 5 times zoomed in, so you're not expecting high amounts of quality. But as you can see, very similar kind of performance from the both of them, with maybe a slight extra bit coming from the Fuji lens. Now we're going to be showing one of the biggest differences, other than the aperture of course, and that is of course the fact that Fuji comes out a whole 15mm extra on the end of the lens, giving you a much longer field of view. And I got to say, during my testing and the photos I've taken today, especially kind of like almost portraiture street photography, this did actually come out on top over the Sigma, and I was quite surprised here, because that reach just gave me that little extra I really needed to. Zooming in, we're going to be able to see the real detail here, and this is of course the 40mm end of the Sigma, and as you can see, that 15mm does make all the difference. It means either getting a good photo or a wider photo of that shot. And yes, you can move closer, but sometimes you want to capture the moment and leave them to it. And I think the 16-50 in this particular situation does come out on top. This time we have the Sigma on the left and the Fuji on the right, and as you can see, there is a very similar amount of sharpness on the telephoto end. When it comes to the Fuji, we need to look at the cameras rather than in the center of the frame, because I think there's a slight focal distance between where I actually focused at the day and, you know, how it is. But overall, very similar performance in the center, both super sharp and what you want to see. However, you know, that distance extra is actually shown here quite well. And then this is taken of a subject a little bit closer to myself to be able to tell you just like the low depth of field of the shot and how well it performs. As you can see, that 15mm difference makes all the difference. And having that lower aperture with the 17-40 doesn't necessarily mean you get the same low depth of field results as the 55mm end on the Fujifilm. Again, the 17-40 was shot at f1.8, and then the Fuji one was shot at f2.8 to kind of give you an explanation of kind of what kind of depth of field you're going to get out of it at the end of the day. And as you can see, it's not a massive amount of difference here overall. It is just that low light performance, which will be better on the Sigma. However, if you prefer reach, then the Fuji might be your, choice.
Now, one of the other big differences, and why I think the 17-40mm is such a good lens, is of course the price. With the Sigma coming in at $779, being really quite accessible, and then the 16-55 Fujifilm WR lens with some benefits, yes. However, the aperture is really the biggest one here. Comes in at £1,149 as of when I'm talking about this right now. Now, if you were looking for a Fuji version of a mid-range zoom, then of course you can have a look at some of the used ranged lenses at 16-55 on the Mark I variant. However, there is a significant size difference between the 17-40 and then that one, and then of course between the Mark I and the Mark II. And it's something that you've really got to bear in mind when looking at these two lenses as to which ones you can really go for. Next thing really to talk about is that focal range. Now, equivalent to a full frame camera with the 17-40mm, you're looking at a 25.5mm all the way to 60, which is a decent range. It's not too bad. It's quite close to 24-70, but not quite. And then, of course, when it comes to the full frame equivalent focal length on the 16-55mm, you are looking at a 24 to 82.5mm, which again gives you a lot of range. You've got to bear in mind when it comes to APS-C cameras, you get a lot more range bang for buck for your lenses. And it's something you really need to consider. Next thing to really discuss here is the weight. When it comes to the Sigma, that is 535 grams, which is half a kilo, which is quite a lot of weight if you're looking to go and keep it nice and light. The Fujifilm, on the other hand, comes in at 410 grams, being the lighter alternative, making it a lot easier to go out and travel with it. Both of these lenses do come with weather sealing, which is fantastic. So if you're traveling to a rainy place like Scotland or indeed Wales, you know your camera is going to be completely safe with that weather sealing if you've actually got it internal on the camera as well. I have an XE5, so that doesn't necessarily matter because that does not have weather sealing. Although realistically it should. Coming back now to the aperture, you get a whole 1.3 times extra stop of dynamic range, which equates to, in especially low light conditions, shooting either 3200 ISO or 6400 ISO. So you're going to have more opportunity to be able to take photos because you can't always control that light, especially when it comes to this time of year where it gets dark fairly quickly. The Sigma does come out on top in that respect. However, for the most part, the Fujifilm is one hell of a contender. Next thing to really discuss is, of course, the autofocus speed. Now, Sigma, being a non-native lens, can be a little bit slower, with Fujifilm being the gold standard, at least for their mount, for autofocus, being fast, precise, and accurate. And there are a number of photos, which I'll go into VO for, where this has actually come into effect. And in some cases, I have actually missed a few shots with the 17-40. However, overall my experience with the 17-40 has been stellar. It's been great for portraiture, street work, and it's also reasonably nice and light, at least compared to my full frame gear, which I shoot with the majority of the videos for in terms of video. So there are a few things you really need to work out for yourself when it comes to which one you go for and what's going to be best for your particular situation. The other thing you need to understand is that the Fujifilm has been purely optimized for that 14 megapixel sensor, which usually becomes standard for all of the range that comes out of Fuji, which means you're going to get super sharp images from edge to edge. Now, when it comes to the characteristic of the lenses, I did notice a slight improvement over when it came to the Fujifilm, but you're going to be expecting that from both the known brand lens and also Fuji themselves. They are excellent in terms of the image quality. The only other thing that I would say when it comes to Sigma, they are sharp, at least tack sharp in the center, but they have a lot of character towards the edges, and the photos that I've got out of it in general over the time I've had it have been absolutely exquisite. And it's not super important for me as a shooter to have that edge-to-edge sharpness. It's about the character of the shot and also having the ability to use low light. You got to remember, I've been a prime shooter. So the other side for why people might be interested in this 17-40 is, of course, it cuts down the amount of lenses they take out with them, because primes tend to be preferred for street photography, shooting, just in general. When it comes to shooting with the Sigma, you've got f1.8 and you've got all of the ranges between 17 and 40. Now, of course, Fujifilm have their f2.8 range, so there is an argument to be made for that as well. But for me personally, I do really like the 17-40 from Sigma, but I can see the quality and the reason why you would pay that extra for the Fujifilm. So really, when it comes down to it, the Fujifilm is excellent for travel, landscape, nature, shooting with the family. It will absolutely smash those out of the park. It does allow you to travel a little bit lighter. It doesn't necessarily have a super low aperture, in which the 17-40 wins out in that respect. And a few other things I would recommend the 17-40 for. Videography. One of my first tests with the 17-40 was a festival. And you got to bear in mind that was a pre-production unit. The current production unit works far better than when I tested out originally. And I was impressed with it then, still am impressed with it now. But the 16-55 WR Mark II is an excellent choice for many things. However, if you want to save yourself some money and get a truly excellent lens all in all, then the 17-40 might actually be a good choice for you. And it's really got to come down to you, which one you prefer. At the moment, I still think I like the 17-40. But, like I said, that 16-55 Mark II, if I had the money, it would actually be tempting. Because having a little bit extra distance is one of the things I found a little bit awkward about the 17-40. It's quite close. However, I really do like the aperture of f1.8. So in many respects, you could actually see the 17-40 as a sort of go-between primes and zoom lenses, because it gives you the benefit of a prime lens with the benefit of a zoom lens. But in some cases, having a little bit extra reach is a little bit more important, especially if you're traveling. It's going to be overall better. For example, whenever I go to London for a launch to see a creator or do something, I usually pack a zoom lens rather than a prime, because I know I'm going to be able to get more out of it just in general. And that's the thing it comes down to at the end of the day, is what you can get out of it, the capabilities of the lens, and ultimately, what you think. So please let me know down below.
Ultimately, it will come down to price, and the Sigma does come in just a little bit cheaper overall. It's a great lens all in all, and it's the one that I did end up picking. However, I would say the Fuji optics are just super sharp. They got a great color contrast to them, and the lens just performs really well. And it really does come down to not my decision, your decision. Which one would you go for? And I want to hear it in down below, because there are both pluses and negatives to having both, and this is a place where we can really have a conversation about these cameras and about these lenses. So please put in any of your questions in down below, and I'll look to see you next time.